Well, that didn't take long, but it looks like there's breaking info coming in right now in the Heidi Broussard case with Magen Fieramusca, whatever her name is, Fieramusca. I don't know. This was just released. Magen, the woman arrested in connection to the killing of an Austin mom and the kidnapping of her baby, will now make her first court appearance in Travis County District Court on February 3rd. Her first appearance was for December 27th, and then they postponed it to January 2nd. But the district attorney's office told reporters that Fieramusca's attorney has requested to reset it. The formal hearing is scheduled to take place at 9 a.m. at the 460th District Court before Honorable Jeffrey per year. He was appointed to the court by Governor Greg Abbott in November. Jackie Wood, Fieramusca's attorney, released the following statement on Thursday. As with every American accused of a crime, unless the state can prove these allegations beyond a reasonable doubt, Miss Fieramusca is innocent. Fieramusca is currently being held at the Travis County jail on 2 charges of kidnapping and 1 count of tampering with a human corpse. As of Thursday afternoon, there was no indication of any additional charges filed against her. The Austin Police Department said the judge sealed the case on December 19th, and it's expected to remain under seal until at least January 17th. At that time, detectives can request the seal be renewed for another 30 days. That means the documents related to this case, including details of what exactly may have unfolded leading up to the Broussard killing, are not available to the public. Heidi Broussard was found dead in Fieramusca's car at a Houston area home on December 19th. Her cause of death was deemed ligature strangulation. They're both Broussard and Fieramusca, both 33, met when they were 11 at church camp. Margot was returned to foster care and then to her family. Shane Carey on Monday, officials said she was unharmed after being found inside the home where Fieramusca's vehicle was found. Broussard and baby Margot had been missing since December 12th. So that's just a quick update. They have sealed the case, but the big thing is they kicked her first appearance out till February 3rd. There's a number of reasons why they could have done this. The attorney wants this to die down in the news cycle. The attorney wants Dad with the phone to quit saying Megan's name. The attorney wants the news to quit saying Megan's name. They want to let this die in a media cycle. So they've literally pushed it back another month, which means she's going to sit in jail for a month. The DA didn't do this. The only person that can push these hearings back is actually the defendant. And so on behalf of the defendant, the attorney asked for this to be pushed back. There's a number of reasons. It could be because they got wind of more charges, but as of right now, the only thing that she's being charged with is kidnapping and tampering with a corpse. They could have brought more charges come on the 2nd of January, but now the attorney has a little bit more time to look at the charges, has a little bit more time to go over what's happening, where and what transpired, the evidence they have. And that's a lot of times what they want to do is they want to look at the initial evidence, because that initial evidence is so crucial in cases. When evidence comes in late, or when evidence is brought in late, it's crucial, but it's that first little bit of evidence is so crucial in cases like this. And so the attorney's playing the game. And that's what this is. This is the judicial system game. Everything is going to slow down. And it doesn't make sense sometimes. It's not, but it's how the court system works. And so I'm not super surprised by the actions of this attorney. I'm not super surprised that they've postponed this out. This isn't abnormal. This isn't anything. This is pretty normal, especially in cases that are going to probably go to trial. And because it doesn't look like she has made statements about what happened, but although we saw her sitting with a Texas Ranger out in front of her house, which means she was answering some kind of questions, because had she froze up and not answered any questions, they would have just taken her into custody. But instead, they left her out there. It didn't look like she was being handcuffed, and she was talking to the Texas Rangers at that house. And so it's going to stretch out. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going to stop following this case because it's stretched out. We'll continue to follow this case. We'll continue to talk about it. We'll continue to get as much information as I can for you guys, and we'll go from there. But this information just came in 5-10 minutes ago. And so Tabby says, the wheels of justice turn slowly. Yes, they do. Let me see here. Just my opinion, I think they're going to do a lot of psychological testing and maybe try to go for temporary insanity or unfit to stand trial. What are your thoughts? The problem is the insanity charge. I don't know. Because some people have talked about this postpartum psychosis that other women have been diagnosed with that have done violent crimes after they have lost a baby. And if in some way they can show that Magen was pregnant and lost her baby, they might go after some sort of temporary insanity under postpartum psychosis. That's not going to change the fact that she's still going to have to stand trial. The question will be how that looks. Do they just stick her in a mental ward for a couple of years? Do they do major evaluations and testing? An insanity plea, although it sounds, everyone who commits these kind of crimes is insane. The question is, has she planned this out? And the way law enforcement is given information, just a little information they've given, and the little information that we've deemed from different sources, is that they believe she planned this out to kidnap the baby. And so at that point, when there's planning involved, I don't know if it takes away from the insanity plea, but it sure freaking puts some flags up to say, hey, this girl was sane enough to plan this out. And so the question will be, and we can look at that. Maybe I'll try to get someone on. Maybe I'll talk to an attorney, and we'll find out what in Texas, what are the criteria for, what is the criteria for the insanity plea. Texas has a woman getting ready to die on the death penalty. Right now, it looks like, or what if she's detoxing? Can she push it back if she's in medical? I'd like to ask a lawyer. Hypothesis. Yeah, I know, right? There's a lot of, when it comes to this case stuff, and when it comes to the judicial system, there is so much that lawyers can do. They can it's easy to postpone. And there's a chance this thing doesn't go to trial for years. I know a lot of you watched the Patrick Frazee case, and it literally went to trial within 1 year of his arrest, and he was convicted within 1 year of being arrested. Unfortunately, that's not normal. Normally, it takes a couple of years to get to trial and then to get through a trial. But Tina says Texas is famous for the reset. Yeah, I mean, Texas is a crazy state when it comes to the judicial system, the prison complex. Texas has more inmates behind bars than almost the entire country combined, which is crazy. They got the largest, I think between Texas and California, they have the largest population of inmates. And so him and Watts both went real fast. Well, Watts is a different story. Watts never went to trial. Watts confessed the day after he murdered. And so you can't put Watts in the same category as Patrick Frazee, because Patrick Frazee took the judicial system through its entirety. Watts gave up a day in. He couldn't handle it. And so Watts's thing happened in 4 months because he pled guilty, because he confessed. Patrick took a year, and it could have even taken longer. There would have been no arguments from the DA had they wanted to stretch out the Patrick Frazee case. And so, you know, the Patrick Frazee case isn't anything like this one, and it's not anything like the Watts case. The Watts case isn't anything like this, and the judicial system isn't the same when someone confesses, right? And so, I mean, Watts confessed the day after, and so it's a whole different ball game where this girl has obviously not confessed, and they're pushing this out for a reason. I think the attorney's being smart to push this out because she's in the national headlines, she's in the world headlines. Everybody's talking about it, and they're slowly letting this thing die off. The news cycles will slowly start to walk away from it. YouTubers are going to slowly start to walk away from it, and they're trying to put this off a little bit longer because right now it's such a hotbed subject, and so it's just going to take some time. Her lawyer, well, and that's what she needs to be. She only needs to be talking to her lawyer. Listen, as much as Magen is a psycho, as much as she's crazy, as much as I want to see her face justice in this case, I also want her to be able to face justice under a fair court system. And so, you know, it's not our preference that she's playing these games with timing and stuff, but it's fair. It's okay. Let her have a fair trial. Just like her attorney said, every American has the right to be, you know, seen as innocent until proven guilty. Thank you, Daniel, for loving my channel. You know, there is a Sandy, there is the story that she claimed that this was her baby from the get-go. Obviously, the identity of Margot has been confirmed, and they have put Margot back in the custody of her father and the family. And so it's crazy. She's crazy if she's claiming Margot's her baby, right? The question is how does that crazy play into a trial? How does that crazy play in to benefit her, to postpone this thing out, to go the insanity route? It's a whole different case. Can I cuss her? She was sane enough to plan this for months. She is sane enough to stand trial and face our death penalty. We have another missing grandmother in our town since October. I wish we had you close enough to help get that POS that did this and find her. I wish so too. So it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. It's pushed out another month, kids. That's what we got. That's the news we got for today. They've pushed out Megan's first appearance before a judge. And so it will. $138 people watching and only 28 thumbs up. Yeah, what's up with that, Rose William? That's some nonsense, kids. How can 138 people be watching and I got a couple of thumbs up? Y'all slacking. Thanks, Rose. Actually, there's 212 people watching because we're simulcasting on Facebook right now. For you guys on YouTube that don't like sometimes the trolls slip by here on YouTube, if you like a troll-free video with chat, you can always go over to Facebook on Dad with the Phone page. I kick people out of there and very seldom ever let them back in. So if they get kicked out of the Dad with the Phone page, especially trolls, they get found out pretty quickly. And it's harder to troll. It's a little harder to troll on Facebook. There's still a lot of fake accounts and there's still a lot of dummy accounts, but it is a little bit harder to troll. So if you don't like watching the trolls in the YouTube, go over to Facebook and watch. Was there another person in the car? Has that been discussed? Allison, we have discussed alternative suspects and whether or not they have someone else in custody. But to my knowledge and to the sources that I have talked to, yes, they talked about they talked about another suspect early, but there has been no mention of another suspect. Now, that could happen for a number of reasons. One, they could have another suspect in custody that they are talking to, and maybe that person is going to turn into a witness, a state-endorsed witness. One, they could have took multiple people into custody, and then we know they took other people in for questioning and then released them. And so the question would be, I mean, even Shane was voluntary. He went in voluntarily. He was never taken into custody, but Shane went in voluntarily and had interviews with the police officers. And so there is a possibility that someone else is in custody, and that's why we haven't seen murder charges come up yet. I frankly, in my opinion, if you're asking me my opinion, I think this is the sole work of Magen. The reason I think this is because she didn't move that body for a week. She literally wanted to block it out of her mind. She wanted to forget about Heidi in the trunk of the car, and she was trying to pass this baby off as her own. It would be, in my opinion, that if there was someone else involved in this, that they would have figured out a way to get Heidi out of the trunk. I mean, that's just my opinion. So, but 30-hour lag time of boyfriend. Wait a minute. Oh, that's something else. Would court put a restraining order against Magen for Heidi's family? It is 100% not a restraining order, but part of her conditions on anything, like if she was to be out on bond, or if a part of her condition is definitely not tampering with witnesses or people that could be, family members. So no one else had motive for involvement either. Who would be willing to get involved in that? Well, yeah, but when you ask yourself, what was Heidi's motive? And you say, oh, Heidi's motive was the baby. Well, at that point, I mean, who thinks they can kidnap their best friend's baby and not get caught? Like, that's not a sane decision. That's why when we start talking about insanity, we're talking about levels of insanity. We're talking about, is she sane enough to face judgment, to face a trial? Not necessarily is she sane, because I'm no professional, But to do the things that happened to Heidi wasn't done by a sane person. And so, you know, it's one of those things where it's like how sane are you? You know, how big a boy are you? How sane is she? Because she ain't a sane person, but is she sane enough to face trial? I'm going to look up Alison Waters' case. Go follow DWAP Facebook to also see live updates. Yeah, you can go follow me at Dad with the Phone on Facebook. Thank you, Jamie, for putting that link up there. It's pretty simple. If you go to Facebook and search Dad with a Phone in your little search bar, you're going to find both my group and my page. You should join the group and you should like the page. The group, you get to engage and comment and tell us all your thoughts. We talk about more cases and different things. My page, I solely get to just put my opinions out there, and you can either watch it or not watch it. So if you want to join Facebook with us, right now I've been doing simulcast. I'll continue to do simulcast both to YouTube and Facebook to make sure that everybody's being able to watch. I know that some people don't have Facebook, but that's where it's at. DWAP, I messaged you and emailed you on another case too. Yeah, I know, Bridget. I haven't seen your email yet. I expected it. But come on. You guys know I can only handle so much of this crap. So this one I'm committed to. We're so committed to this that, I mean, if this thing goes to trial, we're going to do our best to go to Texas. So we'll see what happens. The best friend of Allison looks shady suspect. Okay, so y'all are talking about a different case now. The threshold for insanity is very high, someone said. Knowing the difference between right and wrong, and she definitely knew what she was doing because she planned the crime. Absolutely. Just joined your fake book. You joined my fake book, Jackie? Thank you. The fake book. I like that. It is a fake book. I'm outside Houston. I will meet you there. Tina said, hey, if this thing goes to trial, we're going to do our best because it's way more fun for me to go watch this thing live and give updates than it is for me to try to figure out who's credible and who's not. So we got family there. We got followers and friends there that have already reached out to us. And so, but this thing could take years to get to trial. So who knows where I'm going to be in a year. Where were you at last year at this time? Dad with a Phone had barely started. So it will be interesting to see how far this goes. If you would like to donate, you can send right to where Jamie just said. That's my PayPal link. I love putting this up there for the haters because they think I'm all about the Benjamins. Here's a link if you want to donate. What does that do? It just motivates me. That's it. You give $1 and I feel like I'm obligated to do more info. You give $5 and I'm like, damn, I got to give these people something. They're like paying me to do these lives now. And so I'm going to do them anyway, but don't think you have to give. But thanks for putting that link up there. And now I've put the link up. And you can give via your credit card, your check. You can take out a line of credit. If you need to take out a second mortgage to give to Dad with the Phone, I would say hold off on that just yet. Just hold off on the second mortgage before you give to Dad. Hey, it's going to be New Year's. This is New Year's Eve. If you were with us last night, we had a great freaking live video. If you missed last night's live video, all I can say is you better go check it before it disappears because you never know when it's going to disappear. Vicky, we got to talk, Vicky. You cannot be running from me, Vicky. We got to talk. We got some unfinished business here in Woodland Park we need to talk about. And so, Vicky, you need to message me. We need to set some time out for some certain things here that need to be brought up and talked about. Thanks for joining us today, Vicky. I wouldn't put DWAP and Ad in the same category. DWAP is a man of character. Who's Ad? Who's Ad? Oh, is that armchair? That's Armchair Detective, the dude from Europe. Yeah, I don't like that guy very much. I haven't listened to him, but I listened to him a little bit. I don't like him, but I'm not gonna say I just don't like him. He's just not my cup of tea. This has truly hit a new kind of sickness to me. Trafficking makes me sick, but to kidnap your best friend and try to keep her baby, that's a new level of craziness. Absolutely, absolutely. It's crazy when you think about it in those terms. Like one day she's at the hospital with this woman as she's giving birth to this baby, probably at the same time, sadistically planning this kidnapping that happened just 2 weeks after the baby was born. And so um, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. Oh, let's set it up next week after the new year starts. You got it, Vicky. We'll do it. I know how to get a hold of y'all. Message on Facebook. We'll do it. What are you going to get? Wait, what you going to get charged already? I don't know. I keep sharing that on my Facebook. I don't know what you keep. Well, anyway, quick update on the Magen case. Probably took me longer to get to it than people like. People are like, why don't you just get to it? Why don't you get to it? Quit talking to us and tell us what we want to hear right now. Well, here's what I want to tell you. Magen ain't going to court till February 3rd. That's the update. Her lawyer just extended it, set it out, said, hey, reset that first appearance for February 3rd. There's a number of reasons why that could have happened. We could sit here all day and speculate. What you need to know is we ain't going nowhere. And this is a message for the attorney. This is a message for Magen. We're going to follow this through. Dad with the phone is going to make sure there's some justice for Heidi. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to make sure the world knows what happens, because I can't control what happens to Magen, but I can sure control how much we're talking about it. I can sure control how many times her name gets said in the media, and we going to pull some strings. So we've got some stuff set up for the new year. It's already in the works, confirmed this first week. We've also talked to a couple of people that have been in this chat that have some very, very interesting stories and very tragic stories that they've gone through that we're going to talk about. There's some things here in Woodland Park that we haven't finished up with. Crystal Lee Kinney goes to court in January, and she will be sentenced. Now, we ain't going to let that story fly under the radar either. She's a convicted felon that came down here and helped with the murder of Kelsey Barrett, and she needs to face justice. Now, unfortunately, the judge is handcuffed a little bit on what he can do, but we're going to make sure to be there and find out what happens when that goes down. So thanks for joining Dad with a Phone. As always, if you actually like watching me and you actually enjoy this, hey, hit like and subscribe and jingle on the little bell on YouTube. Over on Facebook, I tell you this because your words matter. I can't express to you how grateful I am for the reviews on my Facebook page, but I can also not express to you how important that is for me to continue to do what I'm doing and to be able to reach out to some certain people. To have those reviews on Facebook actually means something. So if you can't do if you can't give, if you don't want to like and subscribe, if you don't, go over to Facebook and tell me what you think about me. And this is for the lovers and the haters. If you love me, tell me how you love Dad with a Phone, why you love Dad with a Phone. If you hate me, put it right there in the review section. And as always, tell them to subscribe and like Dad with a Phone.
Subscribe and like Dad with a Phone.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
We're out. I love this little cutie.